Adios.
What's happened?
Welcome everybody. I know why. There was no audio in the intro. But anyway, welcome to the show. We're live. We started. I hit the button, but the audio didn't come up. It still showed us as we were muted for the intro for some reason. I don't know what I did last time. Grush Murphys already has his his face. But I will make it up to each and every one of us today on this show. Why?
You mean just Grunge Smurf?
Yeah,
You're the only one here.
Yeah, hey Grunt Smurf. We're live. But for those who are watching at home and expecting high production value, you're going to get it in this underground edition of the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. I am one of the hosts. I am Marcus, the grand finale. And I'm joined by
Lord Manny. Hey, hey!
Ho ho! And so we have a lot to talk about on this show. Stuff is going to happen throughout the show. I hope you guys enjoy all the features. We're going to cover Monday Night Raw and the Raw Underground and people blowing up generators and Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. It's going to be so much going on. We're also going to cover the AEW Women's Tag Tournament. Yeah.
Oh, the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. So, shout out to Chris, who's also in the chat. Wow. We have 2. Can we go for 3? And if you do, please subscribe, like, comment in the section if you're not here live with us. We are interested in everything anybody has to say. And if you do hit a thumbs down, because I lose sleep at night, if you hit a thumbs down.
Explain to us why.
Just tell me why. Just tell me you hate me because I'm black. Tell me you hate Manny because he has a shirt. Okay? Hate the image that I put before. Alright? Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
What image?
Huh?
What image?
The old image. The old image. Or even hate that image that I put up. That Manny has no idea what I just flashed right now.
Let's whenever I hear that phrase, I almost instantly think of Eric Bischoff's theme music.
I'm back. And better than ever. I'm a near. That's the part I can go in that song.
Oh, Marcus, why? Why did you do that?
Yes. Shane McMahon added women to his segment of the Raw Underground, and I feel like we need to spice this show up and add random women throughout the show. And by random women, the same tired, skanky hoes in that gif you saw right now. Yes. Shout out to if I'm related to any of them. I don't know. I have no idea who these people are.
One of them could be your kid.
That would be disheartening. To find out I have an 18, 19-year-old daughter and she's in a stripping gif. I literally put a stripping gif. That's what I said. And they were like the first ones to come up. And I was like, yes! We're going for that.
Can I just point out to everyone in the chat, I say that like there's loads of people in there, but our two mainstayers, our two ride or dies.
Yeah.
This was all Marcus's idea. I had no idea he was going to do this.
What do you mean? We planned this out in the pre-show. You were like, man, these are the perfect girls. You picked them out yourself.
No, I think you'll find I never picked them out myself. Well, and now you're making this some type of casting couch.
Hey, well, you know, we have some female listeners we have some female listeners that be like, hey, we can dance better than that, and they want to be a part of our underground podcast YouTube show that goes live. All right? So the only thing we're missing from this show is taped up hands, Manny. How did you feel? And I'm going to jump right into it. Shane McMahon introduces Raw Underground. What are your thoughts? What are your concerns?
I kind of liked it because it was something new, and you know what? Given that the ratings are as low as they can be for them, it's probably time that they try some new stuff. And this film and Fight Club is definitely like, I don't know how many years old. I want to go at least 20, possibly 25,
20. Maybe 30.
But to be honest, it hasn't been done before. like here. Like I've been seeing a lot of tweets around on Twitter about it being close to Bloodsport. I've never watched that, to be honest. But if anything, though, I feel like everything should have been in a fight pit.
Yeah, it seemed like that the fight pit was the focus, and it had a bunch of like the random NXT talent there, and you didn't really, and it sprinkled some of the regular mainstays of Monday Night Raw, but you didn't really get an idea of who and why what was going on, who set it up, and that was my main thing of like, who's involved in this? Is this a shoot fight? What's the difference between this and the ring? Why don't you give me some rules of what's going on? Instead, they throw Shane McMahon, so I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this. Come back after the break. And then you see like Ivar and Bada Tube, who became Yabba Dabba Doo or whatever they called his name. And he went in there and he continued to beat up some random guys. And they didn't explain what the rules were.
Then, first of all, they said that afterwards, like, I think after the second segment, Shane explained that there was no rules.
Yep.
But I don't know why they changed the guy's name. Like, Babatunde is a sick name.
I don't know. Maybe he just felt like it wasn't good enough.
No, it's just not American enough for white people to say. Let's just be real.
It's probably so. So the overall look of it, for those who didn't see and they do not watch Monday Night Raw, it was inside the Performance Center warehouse, and it was in the back. It looks like the corner of the warehouse. It was surrounded by boxes, and it was a bunch of people surrounding the ring. Some of them recognizable, like I think Vanessa Ward finally has been used on the main roster, and then most notable, Swerve Scott was also sitting on the outside, appearing to gamble on random people fighting in this fight.
He couldn't get away quick enough.
Yeah.
At the end, he got beat up by MVP.
Yeah. So we go through a variety of, I guess, fights throughout the night, and they cut back and forth throughout the night until the Hurt Business decides to go in there and just wreck that shit up and say they're taking over. Now, my question, Manny, as Eric would say on the show, do you feel like this is the Hurt Business thing now, or is this a thing that's just going to be happening?
I think it's just something that's going to be happening. Like, it did definitely make the Hurt Business look dominant, like, as a trio. Like, they haven't looked dominant yet as a trio. And it kind of goes to what so many people are clamoring. Like, we had this discussion on the podcast last Saturday about Big E and having to change his character to suit Booker T's needs. And
yeah. Well, before Booker T leave his comments.
Yeah, there's a few people out there in the wrestling community that want him to turn into Angry Black Man. But he's done that before. It didn't really work for him then. It probably won't work for him now. But now you got three old dogs.
Yeah.
Being the badass black man, and I can kind of I can get along with that.
Yeah, but
they need to put some youth into that group. That's the only thing.
Here's the thing that I liked about the segment, and I don't think it was a total dumpster fire or a clusterfuck, as many people have displayed their displeasure online saying. I thought it was some positives in there. Like, you will be able to display some young talent. It gives you a change up from a 3-hour show, which I remember Raw you need it to be a variety show. It needs to be a mix of stuff. If I can go into the Raw Underground for a portion of the show and leave the Performance Center for just a bit of a 3-hour show, it kind of breaks it up. And the physicality I liked as well.
Well, and when you say it breaks it up, do you want it to go like, let's do 2 hours of normal Raw and then let's close Raw with this? Because normally there's a drop off on the third hour. Maybe you just let the drop off happen.
I was thinking that
hour to this.
I was thinking that's what was going to happen.
What's that? That's about 45 minutes TV time, something like that.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes.
Hour. 45, and you could maybe half an hour.
Maybe you could build up to a fight inside the Raw Underground throughout the night. Let's say Bobby Lashley and Baba Tube or Yabba Dabba, or whatever they call him. I don't know. I honestly don't remember what his new name was. Pop! I don't know what they honestly ended up calling, but if you say we're going to lead up to a match between them, I think that will draw people. The aesthetic of it and the physicality of it, like when they were doing moves and slamming people on the mat, it felt unique and it sounded like it hurt more than a regular mat to me. But I know it's the same mat, but just the sound of it, just bang, and it was like, oh, it's physicality. It's more like UFC. And seeing John Ziggler choke a motherfucker was pretty cool. It was a nice change up for him too. Like this could give a fresh approach for some of the wrestlers and give you a unique match to look forward to every week. But the overall presentation was trash. Like just all the cuts and random women that being flashed through it, or the same 3 women over and over, similar to the ones I just flashed right now, are just nonstop, and they could do better with that. Like I think in time they could do better.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to really do is like see what they can do with it, because like right now a lot of people are quite negative about it, and I can see why. But like realistically, the only way it's gonna ever get good is by getting constructive criticism, and getting criticism whether they listen to it or not. At least it's there and it's out there and you're open for them to like see, and I think they'll know. They're not going to drag. Hopefully, they don't drag this out for like 3 months if they know it's not working.
I think I think it's gonna last about 2 months. Give it a try. But as we brought up Fight Club into this, in wrestling, I feel it'd be pretty unique if this was the faction, similar to like Fight Club. It starts off as a fight club, but then they end up, basically being terrorists. They just become a group of terrorists. And if they fuse that with the T's new faction of, who were throwing cocktails at generators or transformers on the outside and pushing boxes over throughout the night and maybe poisoning Montez Ford, I don't know. But if they can keep that up, I would like that merger of like, this is the part of the faction. Like, these guys are crazy.
Well, first of all, this is the second time you said something outrageous in, like, the space of 7 days.
Wait, what did I say? What did I say outrageous today?
Huh? You want them to be terrorists?
In the vein of the movie Fight Club.
And if you haven't listened to the Sharpshooters
whoa, we don't have to bring that up anymore. We don't have to
we
bring
always
that
have to bring that up.
That's
You're a
fake
disgusting
news.
man, sir. You're
I'm not a disgusting man. I wanted to have consensual, casual sex with Stu Grace's mother. Okay?
After you murdered him.
No, I would have just beat the shit out of him. It would be no different than a bad stepfather. No different.
I see that you've planned for this conversation.
No, I haven't. Oh, Chris, if you want to know what shirt I'm wearing Wilford Brimley, the diabetes shirt. R.I.P. He is gone.
Wilford Brimley.
Yeah. The reason he played a significant role in my life, my grandfather hated this man to his core. So, it's almost an inside joke while wearing it, but I just wear it. I wore it. I was like, shout out to Brimley. So let's move on to the other chaos of this Monday Night Raw. And my overall view of this Monday Night Raw would be a positive show, even though I disagree with a lot of the show. The number one thing this show did was kept me intrigued for 3 hours on what the fuck is going on. And the main thing that kept me confused was the flickering lights, the structure of the generator, and pushing over boxes, and the WWE.com tease a new faction was showing up. And it kept you intrigued throughout the night. Do you feel gypped or cheated that WWE.com said a new faction was going to be debuted tonight?
I felt duped, and I really didn't like it, because, like, this has really made me feel really tired and sluggish throughout the whole day today. Like, I honestly stayed up for as long as I could for this, because Raw starts at 1 a.m. for me, if I was to watch it live. Like, realistically, I knew I should have gone to bed. Like, I knew I should have gone to bed and watched it in the morning. Yeah. But, like, that whole tweet about, there'll be a new faction about to cause chaos tonight. I was like, I'm in, sold, because I thought it was going to be Adam Cole and his merry men, but it wasn't.
We're men. We're manly men. But, Yeah, I was disappointed. I wish that WWE.com didn't do that. As we talked about earlier, the social media aspect of the WWE, it does kind of take away but from the interest. But I know it did what it did. This episode did what it did. It was trying to keep as many viewers as possible. The ratings are not out yet, but I'm assuming they're expecting a better number than the previous week. Not like a huge jump.
It'll be higher than last week, but like it's not gonna be groundbreaking or anything. But like what they did this week, like around social media, around promoting the show, it would have drawn about another. I want to say at least another 100,000 to watch this week.
Yeah. So
that's not even a lot.
Yeah. No. I think it's going to generate buzz. Instead of the 1.6 they got last week, they may get a 1.7. If not, push it to a 1.8 because they teased a new faction.
And Hater in the house!
Hater! Hate. Shout out to Eric and the hate. And the hate on the plate bunch. I don't know. And his slate of hate. But it did put eyes on the product, which it seemed like that was the main focus. I am intrigued about this faction because they are wreaking anarchy. And it is close to home, considering we are having protests and riots that was very similar to what we saw outside the performance center of someone throwing a cocktail into I guess a generator. I don't honestly know what a transformer, something along those lines. And do you think that because of what's going on in the world with, the chaos, or mostly in America right now, do you feel that they may be going too far?
No, as long as it's not too full on. Like this wasn't full on. Like you're not seeing anyone being randomly assaulted and stuff like that, or brutally murdered. But
not yet. You haven't seen that yet. It's week 1.
Yeah, I think people can see the things between the lines because realistically AEW go way further than what they do on WWE in terms of swearing and all this other shit. Like you got a guy called the Blade.
His best friend's the Butcher.
Yeah,
they go cut motherfuckers,
and no one really calls them out on that stuff. So yeah, I get WWE is publicly traded, but unless they pull a stunt where something tragic happens in the world that day, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a problem.
Yeah, but they did have the issue. I think we brought up on the previous show about Muhammad Hassan and Davari, but that may have been on the watch along. Who knows? Watch all our stuff. You'll be able to keep up, similar to an AEW product. Just catch all our random YouTube shit, and you're able to keep up with storylines. But we brought up the Muhammad Hassan, Davari, Undertaker attack the same day as the London bombings. And they got a lot of backlash for that, which ended up leading to the release of Muhammad Hassan and dropping that character in general. So I can see a situation in which they start this gimmick, they are wreaking havoc, and then they start getting negative press about it. And then they pull it. That's what I see. But you could also incorporate the hacker with this. I would love if the hacker was involved in this.
Yeah, that's kind of what my first thought was the moment when Apollo came out at the beginning. And it started off, it first happened when they were opening the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tom Phillips was blaming weather at first.
Yeah, and then it happened during Apollo's entrance. And then throughout the MVP match. I thought it was the hacker. Because I made the joke of, do you know when they sent out that tweet of new faction?
Yeah. I
put out the joke of what I want to happen is Undisputed Era. What I'm gonna get is Ricochet, Cedric, Mustafa Ali, and Apollo.
Yeah, as the truth tellers.
Which basically was just gonna lead to Ali being a hacker and hacking this shit up. But I'm glad it didn't happen like that.
Yeah. I thought it worked out for the better for that scenario. Alright, so other stories. I thought the best segment of this week's Monday Night Raw involved the Battle of the Chosen Ones. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton have what was supposed to be a face-to-face, but Randy chose not to even go to the ring. So they kind of stood 6 feet apart, social distancing, but they both had something to say. Drew argued that Randy doesn't give a damn and this is his plan B, similar to what Edge said. Randy bounced back and said, yes, he is the favorite. That's why he hasn't been fired. He should have been fired 20 times by now for all the drugs and shit he's done in the back. But he's privileged because he's the real chosen one. And by the end of this conversation, you wanted to see Randy get knocked out and you wanted to see Drew get knocked out. And I feel like this is the reverse storyline of Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. Manny, would you like to elaborate?
I thought this was a really great set of back and forth between these two. Like, none of the nonsense of Raw happened during this whole segment. Like, it was happening during everyone else's segments.
Yeah.
But it did not happen during this segment because you knew this was the money segment. And,
yeah.
And, like, Randy was like, Drew was already hitting back with some old shit. And then Randy was like, no. If you're going to get me, come at me with some new stuff.
Yeah.
and then Drew was literally like, yeah.
Suck my dick.
A lot of
new stuff was.
Clean up the shit you left behind when you got suspended.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. When he there's reports that he actually took a shit in someone's bag.
Yep. Like Randy's did everything. He said, and you can talk about recently, whether he did stuff in the bag with shitting in bags and failing drug tests and shooting on coffee in the ring and shitting on people and not encouraging guys in the back and getting all this favoritism. He's recently said nigga on TV. The N-word, sorry. He said the N-word on his stream a few times, drunk, as he was doing it. No repercussions for Randy, which proved that Randy is above the business. He is that chosen one. Yeah. And I really don't know who's going to win this match, especially after the battling promos. I'm rooting for Randy, the greatest wrestler of all time, according to him. But I still Drew deserves to win.
Now, so I might pick that up.
I bought that shirt last night when I saw it. They put it out, and I was like, that is a cool shirt, and I want it. It's the only Randy shirt. I don't own any Randy Orton merchandise. This is the one time I can get some RKO merchandise. So, moving on to other stuff into this show. A part that intrigued me just as much, but got me, I think, more hyped than Drew and Randy, was the berating of Tom Phillips by Seth Rollins and the Samoa Joe coming to save his life and pumping up and becoming Samoa Joe the killer again. And then quickly backing out of that fight as soon as he saw Dominic hit him in the back with a Kindle. Or it hit him in the back. He didn't with a Kindle.
Well, this was my whole thing. I was just like, when this happened, I was like, oh, maybe he's going to help Dominic out during this whole thing. No, he went back to the commentary desk.
Yeah, he not only went back to the commentary table, he went back and started talking shit. He was like, yeah, get his ass. I told you not to mess with him. I tell you that you'd be sleeping on that boy. And then after that segment, he continued to talk more shit. And then it was something amazing and emotional to me. There was an AJ Styles, Bobby Roode pound between Tom Phillips and Samoa Joe that was like, yeah, you my brother. Come on, let's do it. And I was like...
And just further proof that Byron is a piece of shit.
Yeah. And at that moment, and throughout the various moments of the show, I needed Samoa Joe back. I needed Samoa Joe back in the ring. He got me pumped up and ready to go. He sold me with everything he was saying, even the part of him saying he wanted to be a part of Raw Underground. Samoa Joe needs to come back to the ring.
I don't need him to be a part of regular Raw. I want him on the Raw Underground.
Yeah. Like... See, you can shit on Raw Underground all you want, but when you start throwing names in there like Samoa Joe and Bobby Lashley, and even Shelton Benjamin should be a part of that, because he looked like a badass in that quick takedown he did. And it will prolong some of these guys, these older guys' career, because you don't have to be in front of a live audience, and they don't have to take as many bumps.
Was it Shelton that took out Dio Madden, or was it Bobby Lashley?
It was Bobby. I think it was Bobby Lashley. I can't.
He got taken out really quick. I thought, oh yeah, Dio's a big guy. He might be able to do some. Nope.
But for some reason, everybody that I saw stepped in that ring, other than like the guys that were going to get squashed, They all looked they looked even more impressive. Ziggler, Lashley, MVP, Shelton, and even Dio. And, Dabba Dabba Dooba. Whatever his name is.
Babatunde. I don't know why you can't say that name.
No, I can say Babatunde. They gave him a new name. I don't know what he's doing.
Not Tumbe.
What is it? Tunde?
Baba Tunde.
No. Babatunde. I got that. But they changed his name. And I don't know what it is, so I'm going to say Yabba Dabba Tuesday. Or whatever it is until I figure it out. I didn't look it up. But he looked impressive. Everybody looked impressive in the underground. I would like to see Samoa Joe enter there. And now that the match has been made for SummerSlam, Seth Rollins versus Dominic. How do you feel about that? And you got a little bit of Dominic in the ring today.
Well, it's 15 years in the making, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of when Eddie and Ray fought for the custody of Dominic. When Dominic dyed his hair blonde.
Yeah, it was a very select choice. I don't know. I think his dad probably had blonde hair under there too at the same time. Who knows?
2005 was a weird time.
Yeah. That was like the tail end of the boy bands too. Like that was the end of it. Like 2005 was coming to the end. It was like, no reason to dye my hair blonde. But Dominic actually didn't look too stiff in the ring. He seemed like he could move pretty well. I think Seth is gonna. If Seth carries him to a great match, it puts Seth in that upper echelon of great wrestlers. Because this is your first match at SummerSlam.
To be honest, Seth's already up there.
Yeah.
He doesn't give you a bad match.
That's true. Like, he made an eye versus eye match work. I'm gonna sit water.
And he did his best with the Fiend and all that red light.
Yeah. Except for in except for the Hell in a Cell match where you have to step in and say, this is a stupid ending. And if you want to know if I ever dyed my hair blonde, no. It was just an afro. It was just an afro back then. It was just a fade. So, no. So, we're going to talk about, I thought, the most controversial thing of the night. For me, this thing bugged me. Like, everything about this. And Eric has brought it up in the chat. Have you talked about Shayna and Sasha? So, the night begins with the Golden Role Models having their trailer of how they became and got on the go. I was all for it. I support it. In this world, they did it.
In a world.
It was great.
In a world.
Now, that's the guy you should be able to get on Cameo. That he could go in a world and just intro everything I've ever done in my life. But they do that. Shayna walks in and says she's sick of this foolishness and gives a punch to Sasha, lays her out. We then go into a match between an unarmed match between Shayna and Sasha.
That punch. She deserved that punch.
She did, but
nearly knocked her out of that weave.
Bayley is some friend for not stepping up and doing anything about it. By the way.
Well, to be fair, she got thrown in the deep end afterwards anyway.
Yeah. Well, she didn't do anything that she hasn't did to Sasha 1 million times when she was champion. So, Shayna lays her out. Later on in the show, they go to the ring and they're having an impromptu match between Sasha and Shayna. And Shayna gives Sasha the business throughout this entire match, pretty much. Sasha is getting her ass whooped. There were some counters. It got pretty good. It got pretty competitive. But Sasha was getting beat up for the most part of TV. Then Asuka comes out and attacks Bayley. Ring-a-ding-ding. Disqualification. I go, of all the fuckery they have ever did on Raw, of disqualifying people for random shit, this might be the worst.
This didn't make any sense at all because, like, when managers fight and scrapple on the outside, they don't ever do anything other than throw them out of the match.
Yeah.
Which didn't make any sense. Asuka may have went in the ring, but the bell, if you listen very closely, it was already rung by the time she threw Bayley into the barricade.
Yeah. So, the worst part about this was that on the previous episode, we just had the same thing. Bayley ran out to the ring. Kairi Sane ran Bayley away from the arena. There was no disqualification in that. If so, we wouldn't be in the controversy of the Kairi Sane death. Uh, so it was stupid and ludicrous. So we go to commercial, or I think they do the Oscar promo, and Oscar's like, she goes into English and talk. Kyrie's no longer here. Doesn't explain why. She's just no longer here. And she's here, and Sasha's here, and they go fight. And then Shayna gets up into Oscar's face and was like, I want you to win so I can fight you and take it from you. And she's talking shit. Then the Golden Role Models with full entrance comes back out. And I go, why'd they get their full entrance? Why'd they even leave? Come back out. Like nothing has happened. Like I swear,
no, but
Sasha wasn't in the match.
I want to preference this because Shayna looked like she was tired in that whole segment. Like she just had a match. She looked gassed at the like as you should at the end of a match. Sasha went to the back, came back, and looked refreshed.
It was like she was never out there.
Like nothing ever happened.
Like it was like, oh, she decided to shower. She came back out, and like they retaped it later. But either Shayna was selling really hard, or Sasha, or she's out of shape, or Sasha has cardio for days, and just looked completely like I didn't even work today. And then they come out, and then Bayley puts Sasha in a match. I mean, Sasha puts Bayley in a match with Shayna to avenge her next week on Raw. Which I don't feel like makes sense because Bayley doesn't need to fight a Raw wrestler. She needs a SmackDown contender. And I know I'll probably have to get the SmackDown to get there. But she has no opponent since Nikki Cross has went off the deep end again. And Alexa Bliss has been killed off.
Well, she hasn't been killed off.
Yeah, she's missing them.
But do you know what? When I got that SmackDown reminder of what happened to Alexa, I was like, I really need to watch SmackDown this week.
Yeah,
I want to know. But I guarantee you, they won't bring it up.
Oh, yeah, they're not. Nia Jax killed official or was suspended this week for beating up official Pat whoever. I don't know where this. Pat Bark? Or, I don't know.
Buck. Lads in a young Buck.
Pat Buck. The elder of the Young Bucks, I'm assuming. She came out there, and they came out together, and he came out completely not matching in his suit. I don't know what he was wearing. He deserved to get his ass kicked this week as well. And apparently this guy has power to suspend Nia Jax, which she was suspended, and therefore I say she should now join The Rock in the XFL and get a job as a linebacker. Because he owns the XFL now.
I can't believe that's just like art life's imitating art.
Did you watch Ballers?
Yeah, like I really didn't. Do you know what? I really hated it as well. Like I was doing it because I was bored, and like Ballers, The Rock acting in Ballers is terrible. Like he should stick to action movies.
My problem with Ballers is that it followed the same pattern of like Entourage or some shows like that, and just like everything was gonna work out in the end. There was no setbacks it seemed like, and I just couldn't get into it. I watched the first season, and then the second season came out, and I was like, nah, I never need this again. Don't care. So that happened. Then the another what the fuck moment, Kevin Owens show, the reuniting of Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. I just felt like it went long. Although I felt like nobody performed really wrong, anything bad. I just felt like I didn't need this segment as the second segment of a show that promised me pure chaos and an underground fight scene.
I like this. It gave some dimension to both Ruby and Liv. Like Liv crying on cue. Excellent.
Yeah. What an actress. What an actress.
And I've just learned now. And I said it in the mid-card message, I'm going to repeat it. Australian accents are whiny.
Yes.
But I find Sasha Banks' accent far more whinier.
What is Sasha? I never understood the Sasha Banks accent. It's just, I guess it's hood rat, basically?
I don't think it's hood rat because it's a mix of where she's actually from.
Boston?
Like, yeah, I can't stand that accent.
I have no problem with Sasha's accent.
I offended any of our watchers, but yeah, I don't like your accent.
Maybe being a black man and hanging around a lot of black women, she just sounds normal to me.
Like I feel like women sound like they're from Boston. I don't think that's true.
I don't even think she says she's from Boston. I don't even hear that. I don't know.
I hear it all the time.
I don't hear it. Like, I just hear it. Like, I feel like she just talks like people I know. I'm very, like, Sasha just goes right through it. Like, oh, this is good. This is what she's talking about. What else do we have? Chris does not buy your accent, Manny. As he's
mine is a London accent, whereas it's completely different to someone that sounds like they're from Australia.
No, I believe he's.
Mate.
I believe he's compared it to Sasha's accent. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So that was Raw. Again, I thought it was a. Oh, Montez Ford was drugged, by the way.
Oh yeah, we completely. Yeah, he was drugged.
He was drugged. And Selena Vega's not taking credit. And you can blame it on the anarchists on the outside. I don't know.
Bianca Belair wanted to throw hands.
Yep.
And when she was being held back by Dawkins, I specifically heard, "I will cut you."
Yeah. Yeah, so things were happening. There was a lady from The Bachelor, who just married his wife this week and was all over social media with it. Was fighting with the lady from The Bachelor and Charlie Caruso. And Dawkins, who just had a baby, was trying to holler at the lady from The Bachelor as well. I'm like, people do not care about what they're doing on the outside, but they post it like they do. What I liked about the poisoning is that I wanted to be Garza and Selena and them to poison Montez Ford. But I don't believe your first reaction to somebody passing out at ringside would be, oh shit, he was poisoned. It would be, I think COVID-19 man got him.
No, so my whole problem with this was, so he passed out during Dawkins' match, which caused Dawkins to lose because he was concerned about Tez.
Yeah.
No, they went to break, and then it was like, oh, he's fine. And let him compete. Like, you wouldn't do that.
No one is fine for just passing out. After passing out, you are not fine. You are not fine after that. And they let him do it, and then he competed, and he passed out in the ring again. I would sue right away. Like, there's a lawsuit that happened. They were not protecting the fighter from himself, nor the fighter he was going up against. So this man died, but what I liked about it is that he really plays I passed out really well. like his first fall was like, oh, what happened there? And then when he was in the ring after the dive, he looked really dizzy, and then he fell down again. I went, wow, he really sold that.
So I remember an interview William Regal did with someone, and they were talking about how, like, William Regal is like the king of the facial expressions. I think Montez Ford has taken that crown and run with it.
Yeah.
Because, like, what WWE are very good at, which is also quite annoying, is that they tend to make it seem more dramatic by zooming in on different things.
Yeah.
And, like, facial expressions is very important for what I can't even remember his name that in the production truck. But he's like a gold mine for that guy. King of the facial expression.
He's really did. He sold everything. Like he really had that I'm really dizzy look. And as they're bringing up in the chat, your first move would be I was poisoned. The man is clearly drinking on the job. It seems like the best case scenario is he is drunk right now and probably shouldn't be out there. Like, but it is nice that they finally poisoned the cup. Like, he's rarely been poisoned, and I believe he's going to come back as Selena Vega, or we find out that it's Dawkins, which I would be all for that twist.
Can I just point out, Eric's on some different narrative to whatever's going on in the chat, and then what we're talking about.
Because he's watching Raw as we speak, and in the chat, and he's like, oh boy, what's going to happen now? What's gonna happen? Here comes Raw Underground. Didn't see that coming.
Eric's responding like he's everyone's uncle at this point.
Hey, the Lakers,
I'm
the Lakers.
We'll get that Raw Underground.
Alright, so that was our coverage of Monday Night Raw. We're gonna cover, whatever your feelings about Raw, I can see it on both sides, whether it was positive or negative. I enjoyed the show because it just seemed off kiltered and just insane. Like it was something that kept me engrossed into the show of what the fuck is going to happen next. So it kept me great, and that's where I give it a thumbs up. Manny, what was your grade for it?
If I was graded, it would
Oh, yeah,
probably be I don't really give grades.
I didn't want a real grade. I just want to know if you liked it or not. I told you I hate grades and numbers.
It was kind of there. It wasn't the. It was the.
Yeah, right in the middle. Right in the middle. So now we're going to go into something that isn't in the middle. In fact, if I were to grade it, I would have to grade it an F plus. No, an F minus would be the lowest, right? That'd be lower. An F minus.
Grade it. If you don't grade it,
Oh,
ungradable.
yeah. I need to talk to the teacher. That's what needs to happen. I need to talk to the teacher. I need to talk to your parent. We need to just sort some shit out. That is what happened when you watch the AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament. And this is the first, and I'm going to say it, the last time I'm going to watch it. Like, this was horrendous. It starts off with Medusa, I believe, introducing the tournament. They put Betta Scott on.
Who surprisingly Charlotte will look like in 20 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be the exact same person. It had Betta Scott, the ambulance chaser from Ring of Honor, on commentary. A disinterested Tony Schiavone, like he did not care and was faking it the entire show. I swear to God, I don't know the man.
Professional. True professional.
Yeah, he seemed like he was faking it, going like, this is what's happening. And we start off with Brandy and Allie finding out that they're going to team together by this random draw.
Oh, how they surprisingly became a tag team again. Just like, oh, you might not be paired together. Oh, would you look at that? I got the blue chip.
Yeah.
And I've got the red chip.
And they were going against Mel, who's bigger than most of the male wrestlers on the AEW locker room from the Nightmare Collective. And she was teamed with Penelope Ford. Super bad Penelope Ford. And so they have this match. And it was very... Go ahead.
Who both didn't seem that unhappy with each other being paired together. It's like, you ready to kick ass? Yeah, I'm ready to kick ass.
Yeah, let's kick some ass. Yeah. And so they go out there and do the complete opposite and kicking ass. They get mollywopped by Brandy and Allie, essentially. Mel, who's like 7 feet tall, was getting speared, body slammed, hip tossed, thrown around the ring by Brandy, who moves, by the way, do not connect at all. They don't even come close. Every Brandy move, and I can count as many cuts as they had to the women in the fight pit, and the random cut shots they had of the fighting, of the overuse of cameras that they used in that scenario. It wasn't to protect the wrestlers and the contact they were using. This was all protection for Brandy's offense, which was absolute trash. She missed every single spot. Cameron was the second best wrestler on this show.
No, that's...
I know, I'm joking. I'm just messing around.
Cameron was the second worst wrestler of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. This match was trash.
So my take on this is Brandy wrestles like a WWE diva. Like, we haven't referred to female wrestlers in WWE as divas for quite some time.
Yeah.
And she wrestles like one. And guess who else wrestles like one? Cameron!
Hey! Cameron's back. And we can move on to the next. By the way, Allie and Brandy won after Brandy speared Mel, her former teammate in the Nightmare Collective. And they celebrated, and Brandy talked about she added to her brand or some shit. Anyway, we go into the next match. Cameron and Nia Rose, who I believe is being done a disservice by being associated with this garbage. Cameron and Nia Rose against formerly Tainara Conti, now Ty Conti. She didn't change it up that much. And damn, I'm blanking out who her partner was.
Anna Jay.
Anna Jay, who is now associated with the Dark Order but refused to talk about the Dark Order. So this match happened better than the last match by a lot, but that's still not saying much.
Let's be real. There was 3 competent women. Well, yeah, 3 competent women in this match. The one being left out is Cameron.
Yeah. So this match happens. It wasn't good, but it's nothing I would want to show on TV. Like it's like if this was like if you told me this was 20 years ago and this was a women's match, I would have went, these women outdid themselves. This is better than them taking their bras and panties off. But it's not that much higher.
I will give them a bit of credit for this, but AEW as a whole. So this is the first step that could lead to what's been spoken in the chat before, but that was more about WWE. But they're moving to having a women's own TV show, YouTube show, with just matches. So they have like Women's Monday or something, and then AEW Dark on Tuesday, and then Dynamite on Wednesday. But this could be the start if people give it a chance and let it get big. They could actually do that, and you will actually having their own show you'll actually see more improvement in their women's roster and more development of their women's roster. So I give them props for doing it, but I know the execution probably won't be as good because of what they've currently got signed.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I put the graphic on while you were talking.
I know you did.
And I was gonna have Lucy does comment.
An excellent point about women and the evolution of women wrestling. You do this to me.
Yeah. But they're just not there in their women's division, and I think they're forcing the issue. I just think they just need to work on their shit more, and until you're able to get some really talented women in there to actually go in the ring, I don't think they should be doing this.
The only benefit of this show, actually, because it's on YouTube, if you watch it on your browser, you've got this option in settings to watch it at 2 times speed, which is what I did. And it was still a bad show, but I got done with it in 20 minutes.
Wait, no, it was only a 20-minute show.
It was a 40-minute show.
Oh, was it? I don't remember then. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So I got done with it in 20 minutes. It was actually a decent show to be done in 20 minutes.
So, with that being said, there was a news story that I guess we could cover just briefly. I mean, we can save it for probably the later show, but we can let you touch upon it and give people a taste for the Saturday show, in which we talk about the AEW schedule change being bumped by the NBA. How do you feel about that?
The Wednesday Night War's over for 3 weeks.
Woo! We did it! NXT won. They had no dog show to interrupt them.
The real problem they're going to have here is, if they're on a Saturday, no one is going to watch that show.
No. It's like a Saturday show is bad for everybody. It's a ratings dump, a dumpster. But I think it should show where the wrestling fan base stays when NXT comes on Wednesday, and it is the only wrestling show in town that night. So, do you think there's going to be an increase in NXT ratings, or is it going to be the same?
No, because when you add the 2 ratings together, it's around 1.5 million, and realistically, I don't think NXT or AEW are going to grab all the fans. Like I think they'll grab maybe 30% of each other's views, but I don't know. I strongly doubt it.
Yeah, I mean they're going to. I mean the NBA is where it's at right now, the money wise. NBA, baseball, real live sports are where it's at.
Why did you put it on the screen? That makes us look bad.
I don't care. This is a very transparent show. Very transparent show. I don't care if they don't agree with me. Like, most of the people in this world don't agree with me when it comes to my wrestling or takes in general. But these are my takes. Maybe there's that one person out there that does agree with me. I don't have to hide from the negative comments. But the NBA, MLB, all these real sports that are coming back take precedence over wrestling. And I don't think NXT is going to jump up in ratings. I think they're going to maybe get 100 more thousand followers, maybe even 2. I think they get like 800.
I think it'll be like their rating will be around 800, 900 on the Wednesdays when AEW is not on.
Yeah, I think AEW is still going to get like the 600 or 700. They're going to get. I don't think it's going to be a horrible situation for them when they're like, damn, no one's watching. But I also don't think it's going to be a situation in which they're like, maybe we should move to Saturday permanently and forget about this Wednesday show. No. I feel like that's going to change. It's just, this is a short, temporary thing.
Well, do you think it would harm them? Because the second 2 weeks of the 3-week schedule change, the second 2 weeks they're on Thursday. Is there anything on a Thursday that might detract the ratings from them?
I don't know the sports schedule these days. Because it seems like the NBA is on every day on every channel. So, I don't know. And they're playing more sports and stuff more recently because of the, one, they have no more content. And two, they got to get all these games out. So, I don't honestly know what happens Thursday. So, they should be fine Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't see what the competition is. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I don't know what the NBC schedule or Fox schedule or CBS schedule looks like on a Thursday. In the 90s I did, but nowadays I don't have to watch that shit. So, here we are. That being said, you have any closing statements, Manny? We're at the end of the show.
No, I haven't got any closing statements. Just a quick note that there won't be a watch along this Friday. Scheduling issues. But the next one will be the following week, and we will be watching SummerSlam 98.
Yes. SummerSlam 98, live from well, not live, but, was live from Madison Square Garden, the Highway to Hell edition. It should be a really fun show 2 weeks from now. As well, here's the clip. Buy our merchandise, as we all. Any way you can, support the show. We are happy for anybody that buys it. Our number one buyer, we have sold 3 t-shirts. And I believe it's to Manny, Eric, and Eric. Thanks for those guys. They really know how to support the show. So I'm going to replay this clip one more time just because. Look at that. Buy. Buy now! I'm just messing around right now.
The Manny, Eric shirt.
Yeah, the Manny, Eric show. X squared, the show. Well, we'll be back Thursday again for the Wednesday Night War. The second to last one before we shake things up on this show with the unique schedule change. But you have a preview for that show.
The schedule isn't going to change much. We'll let you know in nearer the date, but we've kind of worked out almost. But the schedule literally won't change as much. I think it's mostly the first week that things it's going to shake things up.
Yep. So. Here we are with the final second. Oh, what's our Skype number? I don't know. Just look us up on Skype and ask.
Eric, we need to log into the Sharpshooters account and then send him because he's on the Sharpshooters account, isn't he?
I don't know. Eric's not going to get this for 30 seconds.
You, Chris, so you're going to have to kind of find out how to message me.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to, Eric has the board that accept calls and have them come through. He has that set up together.
Although,
we
Chris,
don't.
I've mentioned my Twitter and Instagram on it before. It's the same username for me.
Yeah, it's not our screen name. I'm just, the grand finale. I think it's spelled the right way. We don't know. Is it? Or is it spelled with D-A, the grand finale? I forget. Who knows?
No. T-H-E.
Hey, I spelled it right.
Spell?
What? Come on! Alright, it's the problem of the LA Unified School District and America's broken school system. We need education reform, damn it. Alright?
No, I want to point out. So when I was applying for sixth form, which is the step you take before you go to university in England, so we have to fill out the application forms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My head of year
decided to write on my application to university that I am dyslexic. I'm not.
Well, you could have confused them. Damn, that sucks. But it's all right. You made it. Look, you turned out the other end. You know, you can blame the school systems all you want, but they end up. It ends up working in the. I don't know. Oh, by the way, fuck the chat, as always. And this is for chat. Some more little action right here.
I'm dysfunctional. What does that even mean, Chris?
I believe it's about the dyslexia. I don't know, but that's all the show we have for today. This was 55 minutes or 56 minutes of pure non-stop action, in which there was two men gathered in a sweaty warehouse fighting each other to the deff. Or, talking about that. Or talking about that. Or just talking about that. Alright, guys. See you later. See you Thursday for a brand new episode of the Untitled Manny and Marcus Show. Peace out.
Peace.